I want to go back and talk a little bit more about the Help Me group and how to help them. So the deal is, it's really simple. It's so simple, all you have to do, remember, they don't need education. They need it, but it doesn't work for them. And they don't need a law or a fine. They need something else. And I want to talk about how you figure out what they need. And it's so simple, you ask them, how can I help you? And I have two stories about where that's exactly what people did. And were very successful because they listened. They listened deeply, caring. In fact, they listened like the Dalai Lama. You know, like no matter what they said, they just heard it and took it in. And so I want to start first, though, and tell you some underlying theories here that actually inspire this. One of the components of social marketing is to understand the audience barriers to doing the behavior. And I think a bowling analogy is really good. So think of the pins in the bowling alley as the barriers. And the marketer, commercial marketer, social marketer, has 4 tools in the toolbox to knock down the barriers. We've got products like quit lines to help people quit smoking. We've got price, like incentives to help people get a grant to insulate their attic. We've got place, like making it really convenient to get a flu shot. Like I know of a place where it's a drive-through flu shot, and so what you do is that you roll up your sleeve, you put your arm out, and then you get your flu shot. We make it easy. And then promotion. So a lot of marketers are only using one of those balls, the one in the far right-hand corner. And I'm here advocating and saying we don't often knock down those barriers without using all of them. So the first story is in rural Wisconsin, back in 2002. A really good friend and colleague of mine, Mike Rothschild, who was at the University of Wisconsin in Madison, was approached by the Department of Transportation to help work on reducing excessive driving after drinking excessively among men 21 to 34 in rural Wisconsin. And they wanted him to consult on, well, what are the kinds of things that we could do in order to get men not to drive home after drinking excessively. So Mike is a marketing professor, and he's passionate about developing products and services to help the person do the behavior. So he went to the bars to talk to the guys. And he went to them, and he sat down with them, and he asked them 2 questions. The first question he asked them was, so why do you drive after drinking so much? Like I know you've been drinking a lot tonight, and you're going to drive home. Why do you drive home? Mike, to get home. I need my car in the morning to go back to work. Everybody does it. I've been doing this for a long time, and I've never gotten caught. And we go home at 1 o'clock, and there's nobody around. It's just fine. So Mike said, so if people would really like you not to do that, what would you like in order not to drive home after drinking so much? Anything? Yeah, just tell me anything. Well, okay. I'll tell you what, I'll drive home, and then you come pick me up. But, you know, like not in a school bus. Well, what would you like to be picked up in? Well, a limo. And, well, what else? Well, I'd like to be able to be taken between the bars, not just to the bar, but between the bars, and then take me back home. And anything else? Well, yeah, how about it be a big car so that you could take a bunch of my buddies with me? Anything else? Yeah, we'd like to smoke and drink in the limo. This is exactly what they gave them. So watch it. And it's still happening today, 10 years later. The product. They refurbished old limos, got grants to do that. And they hired drivers to take them in those limos. Price. It cost these guys $10 to $15 per night, per guy. Place. They could go online and say where I want to be picked up and when, or they could call. Promotion. They branded this program Road Crew. Guess who's not worried about driving tonight? So here's what really counts. In the first 4 years, Road Crew gave 97,200 rides. They had an impact they were able to judge the impact, given the reduction in crashes, that there was a 17% reduction in crashes. And then the ROI is the best part. The taxpayer cost per accident was calculated at $56,000. They took the entire cost of this program, divided it by the number of injuries cost avoided, and that was $15,000. It was an incredible investment. And as I said, this program continues on today in over 32 communities in Wisconsin. The second story is a little closer to home, here in Kirkland, Washington. And I was approached by the city of Kirkland when I was at the U to come over and talk to them about how to increase usage of these flags. So these orange flags had been there for about 10 years when a citizen of Kirkland had gone to Japan and had used these orange flags to go across the crosswalk and had been very impressed by how cars slowed down when they carried the orange flag. So they put all of these flags mostly in the downtown Kirkland area. The trouble was that not a lot of people had been using them. In fact, in those 10 years, there had been 62 injuries and fatalities in the crosswalks in Kirkland. So, like Mike, I wanted to know why they didn't use the flag. So I asked them. In fact, I had a student sit in Kirkland for 20 days and once an hour go to a person not using the flag and ask them, what are some of the reasons you didn't use the flag? Well, I thought that they were for the drivers. You know, it's like this orange flag is hanging out this pole. I thought that was meant telling the drivers that there's a crosswalk here. I thought that maybe it was for construction, actually. It was the other one. The holder is really hard to use. It's like, it's really high, and you have to, even for normal people, and you have to get it at the right slant in order to get it into the slot. And, you know, I feel really safe. I work here. I mean, I've been working here, I'm just fine. Yeah, the truth, I'd feel really silly waving this flag across here. And there were only 6 flags at each location. And some people would come in the morning and take the flags across, and of course there wouldn't be any there for the rest of the people during the day. So there weren't enough flags. So based on that, we asked them, how can we help you? And based on what they told us, we created a new program. The first thing we did was change the product. The flag, the orange flag, was not working. People didn't know what it was for. And the pole holder wasn't very inviting. So we created a new design for the flag, one that was an extension of the crosswalk, pedestrian crosswalk brand, so that people would know that it had something to do with carrying a flag across the crosswalk. Also notice the bucket, putting it in a bucket to make it really clear, oh, just pick it up out of here and easily put it back in on the way back. We engaged in not highway partners, but crosswalk partners. So we engaged businesses that could see one of these crosswalks to, when they have time, to run out and reward somebody who was using a flag and tell them, good job. We put that in the price category like a non-monetary incentive. So Ben & Jerry's was one of those partners there in Kirkland. So you're going to see some kids using the flag and Ben & Jerry's rewarding them.
Oh, happy! Happy!
Come on, okay, you go.
Now she said, wait a second, where's mine? In terms of access, we went from the pole holders, like I mentioned earlier, to the buckets. We also went to 18 flags instead of 6, so that there were plenty there for people throughout the day. In terms of promotion, to address the I feel safe people, it was take it to make it. 62 people have been injured or killed in crosswalks in Kirkland. Not carrying a flag, 62. Carrying a flag, 0. Outcomes, there was a 64% increase in the use of these flags in 5 months. Student went back 5 months later, watched again. 3,000 people crossed during that period of time, and there was a 64% increase in the usage of these flags. So I have a wish for social marketers. Many people know that I have a strong desire for people to use all 4 Ps. The reason being that that's what it takes to knock down those barriers. So I wrote a song about it a couple of years ago, but I'm not going to sing it for you because this thing gets videotaped and it might be like seen by lots of people, and I might never work in the town again, maybe the world. But so I've asked my granddaughter to sing the song that I wrote about my wish for social marketers.
I'd like for social marketers around the world to see that they will have much more success by using all 4 Ps. The product helps our market perform. The price one gives some glee. The place P is a way to save them time and energy. I'd like for social marketers around the world to see the final P is one we use to shout at the other 3. I'd like for social marketers around the world to see if we do this together more, we'll sing in harmony. La 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 la.
Thank you.